Plan 9 from Outer Space. That's right, folks. This film that we are talking about right now marks the 100th film we have covered in Movie Tales. It is not the 100th episode. That's going to be its own thing I do a bigger movie for. But I figured for the 100th film, which is a celebration, and if you want to see all the films I covered, there's a list on Letterboxd. If you want to see like a particular movie or see if I covered a movie or not, you can check it there. But for the 100th movie, I was like, let's do something that matters to film, something that we could talk about that's kind of important. So it's Plan 9 from Outer Space. You know, something that has been hailed numerous times over as the worst film ever made. That's what we do here. I like talking about old sci-fi, so Plan 9 fits into that category, and it's a bad movie, so I figured, yeah, I guess we could talk about it. Now, I have always been somebody who's very culturally aware of Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's always been a movie I was aware of. As a young movie guy, I knew this one existed. I own a poster for it. Don't know why. I bought it a long time ago, and I own it. It's up in my bedroom, along with a poster for Creature from the Black Lagoon and a Casablanca poster. And I knew it from Seinfeld. That's where I probably first heard about it. I just knew it from, Ed Wood. I watched Ed Wood a lot. It's one of my more favorite Tim Burton movies. So I figured, yeah, let's go back to this one. A well I haven't gone to in a long time, just because I've seen it. I was aware of it. I never felt the urge to have it as a deeper part of my life. I still don't. There is a reason this is considered a bad movie, because it's a bad movie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was really hoping to come into this one with a fresh set of eyes and be like, this is fun, But it's not really. It's really boring, and it's kind of a terrible script. If you could say there's a script, it's essentially just Ed Wood getting people to say things for a thing he wants to do. It's bad. But if you are a fan of film history, I guess watch it. I mean, there should be something there to learn, but at the same time, there isn't. Now, I'll commend it. It's a movie that got made, and there's actors in it. And some of them are good. Some of them aren't. Some of them are just people. But it's a movie that got made, and you have to respect that. I don't have a movie made, so I can't be too mad about this movie for existing. I never made a movie, so it's got one up on me. Edwards, you got one up on me, man. You're beating me already. But it's a mess. It's terrible editing, terrible sound mix. Even for the time, I don't think it's perfect. It has some bad audio. It has some bad dialogue. It's got bad effects, if you can call them that. It's a mess. But there is something interesting about the mess that makes you go, okay, I guess I see where you want to go here, if you could say there was a plan for this at all. There isn't really one. The idea of this movie, and I don't know how deep into the plot we're going to go on Plan 9 from Outer Space. Nobody cares. The basic plot is a couple of spaceships in the form of a flying saucer, clearly held on strings, show up to Earth. On them is a guy named Eros. He works for the Excellency, some guy who's dressed up like he's a medieval knight. And he's like, we're on a mission to this planet to stop you from doing stupid shit. That's the point. And to do that, they have to use Plan 9. Now, Plan 9 would be resurrecting the recently dead. Not just the dead. The recently dead. Died in the past couple of days. So that happens to 3 people. It happens to an old lady. It happens to an old man. Well, I don't think they say old lady, but that's the wife of the old man. But she's younger than him, so good for that old man, I guess. And then the Inspector Clay, who's a big guy. It's Tor Johnson. He's huge. He's a big guy for the 50s. Big boy. Arguably the 3 biggest names. Vampira, which we'll talk about in a minute here. Bela Lugosi, who is in the movie. Bela Lugosi is in the movie for 2 scenes that they filmed before he died, but he died before filming finished, so every other time we need to use that old man character, it's somebody hiding their face like they're Dracula. Which is weird, because the scenes of Bela Lugosi, he's not looking like Dracula, but when we have to hide that it is not Bela Lugosi, we make the character Dracula adjacent. Very strange and stupid, and I don't know why we're doing that. And then Tor Johnson, what if a big bald guy was like a zombie? That's it. That's that. Doesn't really affect what's actually going on because Eros has his own plan. And I guess it's just like to scare the people. But we just see like the reaction from a lot of people in the world, if you could call it the world. It's just more like California to what happened when they saw the flying saucer. A pilot saw it, and he goes to complain to his wife about it because the military stopped him from talking about it. And then him and his wife see it again. There's a lieutenant who's like working a case, and he like fires guns at it, but it doesn't do anything to stop the saucer. So he has to team up with this guy and like some other police officers and stuff to like do something about it. That's the basic plot of this 78-minute movie. Is they're flying saucers. We know there's people inside them who turn you into zombies. It's their Plan 9, and now Earth is trying to stop that. And it's a mess. I have nothing to say on like the acting. There are some good acting choices, like Tor Johnson's a big guy, looks like a zombie. He's pretty cool. All of the other men who are of like medium size with medium haircuts, you could intersperse them, and I couldn't even tell you one characteristic about any of them, except that they're reading bad dialogue. There is one chief inspector or like some lieutenant or whoever who like keeps aiming a gun at his head, and that is because the actor wanted to see if, Edward Wood would figure out that he's doing that, and he never did. So there you go. That happened too. The sets are bad, but that's just because we had no budget. And then for some reason, Vampira's in here, and she plays a dead woman who never talks. And look, I am a fan of Vampira. That is something that is exactly up my alley. For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite people to ever live is Cassandra Peterson, and I love her persona, Elvira. And Elvira, if you haven't read her Yours Cruelly book, was originally going to be like the son of Vampiro. That's how like when the original conceit started for the Elvira character, was she was auditioning to be like the daughter of Vampira. And Vampira saw this girl, was like, you're not, no, the direction we want is not what you are exuding. So they made Elvira different. I love that. I love that type of character. It's really fun. I just wish she had more to do than just like be around and go like, ah. But she doesn't, so who cares? There's nothing to this movie, really. And it's pretty much 60 minutes of men looking at poorly rendered flying saucers and complaining in stupid dialogue, and then another like 7 minutes of Eros talking to the Excellency and just people like, look at these primitive idiots. They're so stupid. So the reason that they're here, Eros and his people are here, is they want to stop the Earthlings from doing something stupid. Because humans are so stupid, if they figured out the next form of bomb, they'd kill everyone in the galaxy. These people that came to Earth from outer space, they figure out how to harness the power of solernamite, or whatever. Look, there's a really cool explanation in the movie. Perhaps the only good thing to come out of this movie is this explanation where it's like Earth learned how to make a gun. All right, Earth learned how to make a gun. Then you made a grenade. And then you made a big bomb. And then you made a bigger bomb. And then you learned to harness the atom and made an atom bomb. And then you learned to harness hydrogen and made a hydrogen bomb. Well, we figured eventually at some point in the history of Earth, probably in your future, you're going to learn to harness solar energy, the light of the sun, and turn that into a bomb and destroy the entire galaxy. Because you're stupid enough to do that, you fucking idiots. You're going to kill us all, you fucking losers. We hate you. We're going to stop you from doing that by bringing your dead back to life and scaring you. And then the 3 men who are up on board Eros' ship, the lieutenant, the pilot, and some other guy I can't remember who has a mustache, they're like, you're, what? what are you talking about? And then he's like, you stupid humans with your stupid minds. You're all stupid and stupid. And then they just kind of like fight them and like kick. They like pants arrows, kick him in the nuts, and like blow up his shit and send him back into space. Just like, well, we solved that problem. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. You're like, what? It's ridiculous. This movie is insanity because it's dumb. Nothing makes sense. The script is bad. Every single character says the name of the person they're talking to. There are random scenes put in where it's like a police officer just saying something for no reason so we can have extra minutes to fill out a sequence before we do the next thing. I'm fine with cheap-looking science fiction. This channel and this series of videos is dedicated to cheap science fiction. So I am not mad at this movie for having terrible flying saucers or really cheap sets or dumb costumes. That's not the problem with this movie. The problem with this movie lies in the fact that I'm not having fun watching a single shred of this. And I should be. This should be something I'm very excited by, something I want to be watching over and over again, something I want to throw on to show people we're just having like a get-together or something. And that's not it. This is just something that exists. And it's not even that interesting or compelling. And nothing looks that good. There is one sequence where Tor Johnson's crawling out of a grave that I thought looked really cool. And other than that, I mean, it's just like a flashlight barely working and, just kind of just simplistic camera movements. And it's bookended and it opens with like a guy talking like, what you're about to see is the future that's going to destroy us all. And perhaps we should prepare for it. Oh, who's to say? Bela Lugosi might have saved this if he had lived, but he didn't. He wouldn't have saved it anyways. The guy looks like he's 50 years younger than Bela Lugosi. Very weird that we couldn't get a different older gentleman. We couldn't have just written off the character and tried something new. I know Ed was friends with Bella. It's whatever. I don't know. Was this anything? Did anybody have fun watching this episode or listening to it? There's nothing to this movie. It's nothing. Is it the worst movie we've covered in our 100 films? I still think the worst film we covered is Halloween Resurrection. But this is a close second, and it's the least fun I had watching one of these films in a long time. So that sucks. But hey, we made it to 100 films. I made a fun video montage if you want to check that out instead. Until then, I'll see you next week with a new episode. Thank you all for watching this video on Galactic Tales and Plan 9 from Outer Space. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. You stupid humans with your stupid minds. You're all idiots. Good luck.